Yo, what is the deal, everybody? What is the deal, y'all? Welcome to another Raider Nation Unlimited. I am your man, Wasted Talent, man. What is the effing deal, everybody? What is the deal? Oh, my God. You guys, you know what? I gotta wipe my face off, man. But yo, what's the deal, everybody? Oh my God, man. Yo, listen. It has been an eventful day. It has been a weird day, when it comes to our Raiders and some of the news that we've heard. We're gonna get into that. Also, I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat today, bro. All of y'all for always showing support, man. We're hitting some milestones pretty soon. We're gonna celebrate, but you guys have been amazing. Salute to everybody, man, for y'all coming in here, man, and supporting on a daily basis, man. Man, Paper Chase. Let me get my shout out citation. My guy, Raider Bubba, is in a place, man. Shalib is in a place. William Vernoy Jr., the great and powerful William Vernoy Jr. Oh, my God, man. My guy, McGee's. Jonathan Hatton. Hug Deeds is in a place, man. The Kevin Nash of Shieldmore himself. A. Spivey. The Mokes, the filthy bum himself, is in here, yo. Oh, my God, man. CGR is definitely in the place, man. Oh, my Lord, man. But, guys, let's get into it, man. Look. And Anthony's already in here. Please block him. My guy, Rudy Vet Russo's in the place, too. Rudy, do me a favor. Block him. Sean Johnson is in the place, man. Sean Johnson. Where the F you been, Sean Johnson? Oh, my God, man. Herman Munster's in the place. Keno. Bumble Klotz is in the place, too. So, guys, listen. There was a thought that Colton Miller, and I did a short on this the other day, that Colton Miller was going to be rocking and rolling, right? Colton Miller was going to be back in a few weeks. Everything was going to be fine. Everything was going to be copacetic. It is looking like that might not be true. Colton Miller is going on the IR. Not only does he have a high ankle sprain, which could take up to 4 weeks to 5 weeks, sometimes even 6 weeks just for the ankle sprain, he has a hairline fracture. Now, this is a man that is well over 300 pounds. This is a guy who is 6'8", 6'9". Big men and lower extremity injuries, you got to always kind of err on the side that they're going to be out a little longer than expected, right? So Colton Miller, from what I understand, is going to be on the IR for 4 weeks and they're going to have to reassess after that. But to me, from my estimation, Colton Miller is probably going to be done for the season, right? And that spells bad news for Geno Smith, right? It also spells bad news for Ashton Jeanty, who was starting to kind of get on a roll, right? Now, we got to look at this from a bird's eye view, right? Because that's what we do here at Raider Nation Unlimited. Now, the Raiders are going to have to kind of decide what exactly this season is going to amount to. Because, look, can the Raiders go on a run? Absolutely, right? But can this turn out to be a situation where the Raiders are struggling to find wins? Absolutely, man. And, when we talked about this team and when we talked about how well the Raiders can do this season, it was all contingent on health, right? This is a team that does not have a lot of depth. We cannot afford for major pieces of our team to go down and for us to continue to be on an upward trajectory. Now, if we look at the best players on this Raider team, right? You start with Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers, first game of the season, injured, right? Kolton Miller, our best lineman, injured, right? And now, Eric Stokes, our senior corner in the room, injured. We don't know whether he'll play or not this week, but he's still injured, right? He has a knee sprain, and that's something that you got to take into account. So, this Raider team has been done no favors by the injury gods, right? Cameron Richardson, Michael Mayer, like major parts and components of this team are hurt. And now the Raiders have to scramble to try to craft what most would think would be a roster that is respectable. Now, Stone Forsythe is a guy that, since he's come out of the University of Florida, has not been, the best player, the best option. He has some familiarity with Pete, but familiarity with the coach, and this has happened numerous times with the Raiders. No matter what iteration we're talking about, whether we're talking about, Gruden or Josh McDaniels or whomever, right? We always lean on the familiarity with the incumbent coach. We always lean on the familiarity, and just because they're familiar with the incumbent coach does not necessarily mean that they're a good player. So Stone Forsythe has been a guy that struggled. He's been, categorically one of the worst offensive linemen in football. And now we are expecting him to protect Geno Smith's blind side, right? So this is going to be a tall order for this Raider team, right? It's going to be a tall order for Geno Smith to get things on track. It's going to be a tall order for Pete Carroll and for Chip Kelly, for that matter, to scheme some protection for these guys. Now, Stone Forsythe is a guy who, played 413 snaps last season at right tackle for the Seattle Seahawks. He did not do well. He allowed like 29 pressures within like 6 weeks. He had 19 against, Aiden Hutchinson and Nick Bosa. I mean, it was just a horrendous showing. And I don't necessarily have the faith that he's going to be able to craft this into a respectable showing, right? So now that brings into play Charles Grant. Now, Pete Carroll spoke about Charles Grant. And he spoke about him trying to get prepared as if he's going to be the starter. And he spoke about Charles Grant competing. Now, Charles Grant is a third-round pick. If I'm being honest, third round picks are guys that are high picks. Like, a lot of people act like third-round picks are nothing. But to me, anything from a fourth round up is a substantial pick. I mean, hell, we picked Max Crosby in the fourth round, right? But the problem with Charles Grant, as I see it, is he's a small school guy, and he was going to be a project anyway. And he was a guy who, to me, was overdrafted. He's overdrafted, right? So now we are in a situation, we're in a veritable pandemic for linemen right now. And the most important lineman, the blind side of our quarterback, Geno Smith, who is struggling mightily right now. So I'm going to tell you guys something. It is a tall order. Guys, we got over 250 in a room. Get wasted with your brother, wasted. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Man, what the F is going on here? Why the hell? What is going on here? You guys got to share this thing out to all social media and get the gang back all in here, man. But look, and my guy Get Your Chill is absolutely right. There's no cohesion on this team, man. There is no cohesion, bro. It is a situation where it is a land of misfit toys right now. And the Raiders really need to kind of shape where the season is going right now. When we got into this season, guys, we knew that this season was going to be one that it was going to take almost everything to go right for the Raiders to compete for a playoff spot, right? And now we are in a situation where we're trying to hold on to I mean, we're trying to hold on to respectability, right? We're trying to make sure that this season doesn't turn out to be a dumpster fire. We're trying to make sure that this season continues to be a season that the Raiders can really, really, build on what they're doing with Pete Carroll. And look, for me, I didn't expect for things to turn around in 1 year. And I always say Rome wasn't built in a day. And I get pushback from certain people. They'll say, well, hell, man, it's been 20, 30 years. Man, what do you mean Rome wasn't built in a day? Wasted. And what I'll tell you is this, bro. This regime just started. We cannot put the weight of the whole Raiders story on Pete Carroll and John Spytek. We can't put all that weight on these guys. It's not on them, bro. It's not on them. They weren't here. They were not here, bro. They weren't here. They're trying to establish what they got going on right now. Now, look, there's a lot of things that people talk about. They talk about, injuries. They talk about, the amount of practice that players are allowed to have. Look, it's very, very tough to craft, a respectable practice schedule. Then we get guys like, Dylan Parham, who have been here and they've been in multiple different regimes and they've been in multiple different situations as far as, positionally, as far as techniques, as far as different kinds of offensive lines. I mean, this has been an amalgamation of chaos here. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm really looking for the Raiders to try to sneak in and steal a couple of games to kind of keep us above water so we're not at the bottom third of the league, man. We need to see a marketable improvement, man. We do, man. And people want wins now, but you have to build a culture first. You have to build a situation where, there's an accountability factor with the players, right? We got to build a situation where, guys are executing. We have to build a situation where we're protecting the football, right? And we also have to build a situation where Pete and the brass of the Raiders have to decide when is when. When is the time to develop these young guys? When is that time? I'm a little sweaty here too, man. I gotta keep wiping my face. I'm sweating my ass off. I just came back from the gym. But when is the time to develop? Because listen, when you got a Charles Grant, right? I don't know if Charles Grant is ready to play, right? But I'd much rather watch Charles Grant struggle than Stone Forsythe. Listen, I'd much rather that. The only way, and my man Geno said it the best, man. The only way to get better is reps, reps, reps. That's it. And I think that there has been a situation in this season where there's a bit of a blind spot. There's been a blind spot with Pete. And I'm not dogging Pete out. I just think that there's a piece of what he's trying to do, right? Oh, hell no. See, are you tripping? Nah, man. What do you think? You think I'm Caleb Williams? Nah, man. That's one thing you will never see from the great and powerful. Never effing do that, man. What the F is wrong with you? Let me adjust this. Hold on, man. Let me adjust here. All right, we all good now. We all good now, man. We got to make sure here, man. We got to make sure. I got to change the lighting here, bro. I got to change the lighting. Y'all are tripping, man. Talk about wasted paint and his effing nails. What is wrong? Big tripping. You're talking about me painting my effing nails. What's wrong with you, man? Somebody father about to get yourself unceremoniously blocked. But no, in all seriousness, I think there's been a bit of a blind spot this season, right? I think there's been an opportunity to kind of bring this organization into the future. And I think that Pete Carroll and a lot of the coaching staff need to embrace bringing this organization to the future. I wanted to get into Jack Bech not playing. Jack Bech not playing has been an abject failure on from an organizational standpoint. I think that with Brock Bowers clearly being hurt, right? With Michael Mayers clearly getting his bell rung, and we're going to get into the injury report and stuff later, right? We're going to get into all of the news and notes. But, guys gather around. Wasted talent is going to get on his soapbox. I have to, right? This is the thing, right? Jack Bech was a tight end in college too, at times, right? He's a possession receiver. He is a guy that understands how to run the full route tree. He understands how to get released from the line of scrimmage. I think that the Dante Thornton thing makes sense because he's his measurables and his size and stuff like that. But the thing that's been missing for Geno Smith, and you can look at, Geno Smith in the Patriot game, right? And you can look at Geno Smith after the Patriot game. And the one thing that sticks out is when he had a healthy Brock Bowers, he looked like a world beater. He looked like a great quarterback. Without a healthy Brock Bowers, you have situations where he's trying to go underneath and fit the ball into certain spaces, and it is getting picked off. And I think that has a lot of validity to why Geno has been struggling. I think that, a healthy Brock Bowers makes Geno Smith a better player. And I think that Jack Bech is somebody that cannot be Brock Bowers because, who can, right? But he's a guy that can fill that role a little bit better than some of the guys that we have out there. I think that Jack Bech should definitely get a ton more snaps. And I think that if Jack Bech was in the game at the end of the last game, that drop ball to Dante Thornton, if that was thrown to Jack Bech would have caught that. And I'm going to tell you why. And we haven't seen a lot of him in the National Football League, but this is a guy who dropped 4 passes in his entire college career. That is why I can confidently say that. That is why I can confidently say that. Salute to everybody in the chat. Get wasted with your brother wasted. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Salute to Caleb Williams in the place, the #1 pick. Fine, wasted. I'll never promote you either then. Oh my God. Caleb Williams is up in here, man. I'm sorry that you are the flag holder for all the men who paint their nails out there, man. Hey, listen, to each his own, right? God bless. Salute to my brother Hug D's, man. Tell me y'all saw Manti Te'o talking hella smack about Jordan Meredith and Pete needing to switch on, get more than football. I have never liked that kid more. Catfish kid has some chops. No, you know what, Hug? I haven't seen it, bro. I was in meetings all day, right? I was in meetings all day at work, right? So I didn't see it. A lot of times, when I have a little downtime, I'll catch up, kind of see what's going on. But yeah, I was in meetings and I got home and then I went for a run. And then, I'm trying to get on the kind of time you're on, man. I'm trying to actually, bro, get this engine back started, right? And one of the big ways that I'm going to try to do that now, normally, guys, at the bottom of my screen, guys, it's normally a situation where you will see men of order. Now, do you guys understand what men of order is? Hey, everybody in the chat, do you guys know what men of order is? Anybody that's out there, do you guys know? I wanted to stop real quick, but the rest of do you guys know what Men of Order is? Men of Order is a supplement company that, myself and a couple of other gentlemen have started natural supplements, right? Now, for me, I have not been able, I wasn't taking anything because I had some health issues, right? And, I'm on blood pressure meds and stuff, and I wanted to get the okay from my doctor to be able to take supplements, right? But these supplements are all natural. Like, you got to check the label on a lot of your supplements, man. Do me a favor. Tell me if y'all see vegetable oil or like rice flour on there, any of that kind of stuff. Yo, if you do, right, go to menoforder.com because our supplements are 100% natural, right? They will put you back into the fountain of youth. I just got back on Men of Order and I worked out, this morning. I came home, I ran and I worked out again. I haven't been able to do that in a long time, right? And we have a lot of guys that are using men of order in a way that is, you know, phenomenal. My guy Rudy the Vet Russo is taking Apex. Big Mike Raider lost a ton of weight taking Apex. Ask Big Mike. When you guys go on Big Mike's show, ask him, right? Rudy the Vet Russo's been on it 18 months. He's dropped 60 pounds. And listen, I plan on, you know, and this is a natural supplement. No testosterone, no, none of that stuff. Because once you get on synthetic tests, some people use it and it's cool, right? And there's no knocking them. But once you get on it, your body stops making it. You got to stay on it. And I didn't want to do anything like this. So look, what I want you guys to do is go to menoforder.com and use the coupon code WASTED for 15% off. Tell them Wasted Talent sent you. We're trying to track where the sales are coming from. So listen, this is the thing. You guys know I have an obsession with being, you know, great at what I do, right? Show them the power of the Wasted Talent Army. Go on over there, get your Apex from menoforder.com. Use the coupon code WASTED for 15% off. And I'm telling you right now, you can take it to the bank, man. You will love this product, man. And tell them Wasted Talent sent you, man. So guys, listen. This is what we need to do as a fan base, right? We need to pump the brakes, and I'm not saying to lower your expectations, but be realistic, right? Realistically, when we talked about this season, we talked about the Raiders being 7-10, possibly winning 8, 9, maybe 10 games if everything goes right. A month into the season, everything has not gone right. Things have gone objectively bad when it comes to injury perspective, right? You know, Colton Miller is most likely going to miss the rest of the season, right? He's most likely going to miss the rest of the season. Let's just put it out there. I know Pete and those guys are not going to say that, but he most likely is going to miss the rest of the season, right? We have Geno Smith that is in flux, right? And Pete Carroll talked today. He got candid today, and you know, they asked Pete Carroll today about Charles Grant. They asked Pete Carroll today about Stone Forsythe. And I'm gonna be real with you guys. Did you guys see the presser today? Pete kind of pissed me off a little bit. And look, I've been a humongous Pete Carroll guy. Humongous. Like I've supported Pete, right? Because he's the adult in the room. He knows what he's doing. This is the thing, right? I don't like the way Pete responds to the media when they press him a little bit about questions that are valid. You know, just because you want so-and-so to play. That's not what the point is, bro. It pisses me off a little bit. It pisses me off. It pisses me off a little bit. I think Pete and these guys need to be taking the task for the fact that, you know, a lot of these rookies have not got a lot of snaps. And now you're in a situation where you need them to play. Darian Porter needs to play now, right? Because Eric Stokes is injured, right? And he might play this week, but he's going to get a lot more snaps. He's going to get a hell of a lot more snaps. Caleb Rogers is going to be dressed, and he might have to play. He might have to play. Yo, all of these guys might have to play now. Bash all these dudes. And I don't understand why these guys were not playing, bro. And people were kind of pissing him off about the JPJ subject. And now today he's had to admit, yo, Jackson Powers-Johnson played terrific. He went out there and he admitted that. The thing is, I don't understand. And just help me understand it. Maybe because he's older and set in his ways, right? I don't want to put that on Pete. But I don't understand the mantra that we have to compete. We want to compete. Everybody's competing, right? And then when we ask you as a fan base or the media ask you, why is said guy not playing? Because the guy that you have over him is abjectly mid. Why is he not playing? And it's always a pushback. Instead of just answering the question honestly and earnestly, kind of pisses me off a little bit. I'm not going to lie, right? Pete thought they were better than they are. Play the youth and let's see what we got. And look, but be honest with you, that's what this season is about. This season is about development. Development, about building a foundation to be able to win in the future. That's what this is about. Now, look, I want to go over some of the things that Pete talked about today, right? Now, when they asked him about Stone Forsythe taking over at left tackle and replacing Miller, he goes, we're confident he could do the job. That's why we went after him. Now, see, listen, I am just a humble pundit of the Raiders. I am just a podcaster. I do not claim to be a personnel guy. But what I would tell you is Stone Forsythe, besides his physical profile, right? Because he's a big dude. He's pretty much, Colton Miller's size, right? They're like bookends, right? They would be like the machines in professional wrestling back in the day. Remember the machines? But Stone Forsythe, man, just from a pro football focus perspective, right? This is a guy, man, that has been woeful. And I don't understand why the Raiders, didn't go out there and choose a little better, right? Like having Alex Kappa and Stone Forsythe as your failsafe based off of how bad these two guys have played previously, to me is something that needs explaining, bro. To me, because he's a concerning replacement, bro. Concerning. And I don't think that we're going to see Colton Miller again this season, right? I think by the time Colton Miller is even physically able to play, it might not be worth it. I mean, this guy had 413 snaps for the Seahawks at right tackle last year due to injuries, right? And he struggled. The Seahawks didn't bring him back and they drafted him, right? And I told you earlier, he allowed 29 pressures in just 6 games. And in matchups with Nick Bosa and Aiden Hutchinson, it was a combined 19. So Geno Smith was under duress like crazy, bro. And in week 5, we're already here, right? So it's when people ask, I think Pete, and listen, man, he's got to defend his yard, right? But I think Pete needs to be a little more patient. My guy, J. Rowe, why are we taking projects in the 3rd round? And J. Rowe, I couldn't tell you that. We do a lot of draft homework, right? We do a lot of draft homework. We do a lot of work on these guys. And I know they do too, right? So, a lot of times people take people that fit their scheme or they have certain, feelings about, look, there are a lot of times where there are players that everybody thinks is going to be good and then they wind up being bad, right? And look, it's their job. We're just, it's their show. It's their ball. They're going to run with it, right? And I get it. But I wondered the same thing. I was happy about Ashton Jeanty, right? Jack Bech, I was kind of But once the draft started going on, I was like getting a little upset because I'm like, well, damn, go get, like, even if it's not Shador, right? Go get a developmental quarterback or something. What? I'm under the estimation that you should draft a quarterback every freaking year, man. My guy, Raiders Shield family. I'm just saying, your lighting makes you look like you have a zit on your nose. The O-line, let those big boys prove it. Starting with JPJ at center, Tassi at guard. Listen, Raiders Shield family, 1, I don't have a zit on my nose, right? I haven't had a zit on my nose since I was a teenager, and I didn't have zits then either. I am one of those people, right? I know somebody had asked me, they were like, yo, do you have veneers and this, that, and the third? No, I don't. I don't. The Lord blessed me with straight teeth and clear skin. Thank you, Lord. And shout out to my guy, Hug D's, becoming a member of the Wasted Talent Army. Hug D's, I understand that your membership ran out. It's all good, man. I appreciate you. You support this channel more than anybody out there. You are down by law. You're a mod father. We love you, brother. Thank you, my dog. For real. So they made you look, get the F up out of here with your crap. But yeah, look, man. I mean, in the GM, you know, it's a little weird because, you know, with Alex Kappa, I just don't understand the ideology behind Alex Kappa. But it's not for me to understand. It's them. They are the ones who have to live with that decision, not me, right? Shout out to my guy, Raider Shield family, gifted 5 Raider Nation Unlimited memberships to the masses. Oh, my God. 5 new members, man. The Gout Army grows, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all. But, yo, let's get into this, man. Now, look, the Raiders are going into a situation where, you know, we have a Swiss chain offensive line. We have Geno Smith that is spiraling out of control, right? You know, Pete Carroll kind of addressed, you know, Geno Smith and his slump, right? The Raiders have lost 3 games in a row. Smith has thrown 6 interceptions combined, and in the 2 of the 3 losses, right? And Las Vegas has suffered with issues along the offensive line. There's a lot going on, right? And after the loss of the Chicago Bears, Pete Carroll kind of like shared some things, right? And he went over how he thinks he may force some things, right? Things that he saw, you know, safely, that he can fit it in there. But, you know, he said Geno has to realize that the speed of the game has changed, right? And I get it. And I love that Pete is protecting Geno, right? And I love the fact that, you know, when you start talking about, you know, bringing in Kenny Pickett, you know, I had a short up today where we broached that subject, right? And I just want to say for the record, you know, sitting Geno Smith down is not really the answer permanently because he represents our best chance to win now, right? You know, Kenny Pickett is not a guy that you want to look at and think that he is a world beater or a starter, right? Kenny Pickett, from the word go, when he came out of Pitt, I looked at as a career backup. But I think that Pete needs to have an accountability measure for Geno when he messes up like that. And I think he needs to be sat down sometimes. Now, even if you don't sit him down, you know, next week, right, and he wins his job back in practice or whatever the case may be, you can't have the cart come off of the wheels come off the cart. You got to sit him down at that point when he starts throwing. I mean, 3 interceptions is horrendous thing, man. Horrendous. And Martin says it's outstanding. Salute to you, man. Salute to you, man. My guy Robert Cisneros Dubzillo became a YouTube member. Appreciate you, my brother. Raider Shield family became a member. Salute to my guy, man. Salute to my guy, man. Appreciate you, bro. You know, and it's a lot going on. Now, there's a lot of people who say, you know, look, man, you know, we should have drafted Shador. We should have. Look, we can't even get into that, right? We didn't. And that's the case. And now Geno's here. We don't have a developmental quarterback that can give us some hopium. And Kenny Pickett damn sure isn't the guy to give us any hopium unless Geno goes down, man. You know, now the only thing that you could possibly do is do this, right? Go out there and get a win in Indianapolis. This is a team that is a very good football team. They have some elite weapons. Pete Carroll alluded to that today, but they're not unbeatable, right? You know, Daniel Jones has played out of his mind, right? Jonathan Taylor is you know, in my estimation, one of the 4 best running backs in football, right? Their defensive front is pretty good. You know, Latu is a young prospect that you got to keep an eye on. But this is a team that is a beatable squad. They have a lot of injuries, right? And we're gonna get into the injury report. You know, the Raiders are in a situation where, look, man, we don't really know what's gonna go on with Michael Mayer. We don't know just yet. We don't know. You know, when you start talking about head injuries and stuff like that, I kind of caution on the side of giving them an extra week. Like, the brain is such a fragile thing, man. You know, it's the most vital thing. And with Michael Mayer, man, it was very frightening to me to see his body be lifeless like that. You know, with Big Mike Mayer, man, listen, if they decide to hold him out a little longer, I have no problem with that, because it's about the person, man. You know, I think a lot of the reason why Pete held JPJ out was because of the person, bro. I don't think it was this vendetta against Jackson Powers Johnson. I think it was more so because he's a young kid who had a history of head injuries, and Pete said, listen, man, we got a short week. I am not playing him. And I love that, man. I love that you put the person before the football. Put the person first, man. Because these young men, when they're done playing the game, they're still young guys. They're still in their 30s. They have a long life to live after this, man. And it breaks my heart when I see guys that have certain issues from playing the game that we love. They give it all to this game, bro. That's the reason why I don't disrespect players, because they give it all to this game. So with Mike Mayers, bro, listen, if he don't play, I'm okay with that. Raiders Shield family, gonna get 5 more, but the mother effers got to keep it. Yeah, that's right. Hey, listen, if Raiders Shield family blesses you with the Wasted Talent membership, and guess what's gonna wind up happening? Look, if I hit 500 members, bro, as a matter of fact, I don't even have to do that. I'm gonna start doing my members only show, Late Night Wasted. That's going to be a members only show. We're going to use the other program. It's going to be sick and silly. You guys are going to love it. You guys are going to love it. Sick and silly. Oh, man. My man Shalib gifting 20 Raider Nation Unlimited memberships, man. Booming. Increasing. Oh, my God. The Wasted Talent Army going in droves. Appreciate you, man. Anthony is a hater, yo. My guy, Raider Joe. Yo, man, I just watched the latest video. I agree 100%. How can somebody crush him what a rookie has done if he hasn't gotten the opportunity? And Raider Joe, that is 100% why I feel like, yo, we have to start shifting our focus as fans, right? Pete Carroll's got to shift his focus. You are trying to build the future of the Raiders. The future is now. Build the future, bro, because that's all this season is about. If we're being honest, after Colton Miller went down, right, after some of the things that have transpired, it is going to be a tall task to try to make the playoffs this year and really compete. It's going to be a tall task. And I'm not saying that the season is over. I'm not saying the Raiders can't win. I will never come on here and say that. And I'm going to be watching every week no matter what. But what I will tell you is that the metric for how the season progresses changed for me. It's changed. Anthony's banned from getting memberships. That's what it is. He said, boo the members only shows. Anthony, don't worry. You won't be in the crowd to throw tomatoes because you're not a member, Anthony. You bum. You are effing bum. Yo, my dog, Reese Rock. That's why not just 1 week or not just one loss. Ignorance F to say. People laid their health on the lines. It's not just 1 week of football. That's why that SOB Geno throwing 3 interceptions is a crime. And see, look, what I would do is this, right? Geno threw 3 interceptions. The Raiders lost. That's a big loss because wins are really hard to come by in this league, right? But I'm not going to continue to take him to task for it unless he doesn't improve. But it's a week-to-week league, right? I think the Raiders have the kind of team that is going to gel towards the end of the season. We're going to go on a little run and show. That's what I think is going to happen. That's just me. Jesse B. Gaming, you guys are talking about the Raiders in the playoffs. Wow, you guys are delusional. Hey, nobody said the Raiders are going to the playoffs. We're talking about the beginning of the season, and you're clearly a troll, right? And this is the crazy thing, bro. Dude, listen, we try to give a professional show. We try to be courteous to all of the people who support our channel. But when you are a filthy bum who's never come up here, watched the channel, made a comment, hit a like, and you come in here with your crap, you get unceremoniously blocked. Blocked, you effing bum. You get the F up out of here. Come in with your crap.
Man, you a bitch. You a bitch.
Yeah, man, get that F up out of here. The F is wrong with him coming in here bothering us when we're talking about our Raiders. You get the F up out of here. Trolly McTroll a lot. Jesse B Gaming. You be getting blocked. That's what happened to you. You get the F up out of here. And yes, this is a family show. But yo, and this is the funny thing. This is a family show, but he is permanently, he has a life sentence in the gulags. You get the F up out of here. Yeah, Solly. He's a Charger fan. He's a Charger fan, definitely. But an effing clown. So let's get back to it. You know, man, this joke got me ill. I'm up here talking the gospel, and you up here ruining the damn show, you effing bum. Raider Shield family, quickly look at all of Geno's picks. Mind changes. Bro, I looked at all Geno's picks, bro. They're on him, bro, 100%. They're on him 110%, bro. It's not this situation where, you know, a lot of people, we like to, when people become Raiders, some of us like to detach from reality and try to make things and justify the ineptitudes in certain people's games. Geno Smith has always been a turnover machine, and he has to clean it up for the Raiders to get better this year. And I got to put the strong belief in that. Strong belief in that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the train was definitely derailed by a bum. But listen, man, you know, I look at Geno Smith, right? And you know, I want to get into what Lincoln Kennedy said about, you know, teams having papers on him. You know, on Q Myers' show, Lincoln Kennedy, Q Myers got a show. Salute to Q, salute to Lincoln Kennedy, salute to all them guys, the Locked On Raiders Squad show, right? And they spoke about it. They said he's got to be the starting quarterback. I am paraphrasing. This is from RaiderBeat.com. I am paraphrasing and quoting exactly what Lincoln Kennedy said, guys. And this is the crazy thing. We got to talk about it because Geno Smith currently leads the National Football League with 7 picks, man. It's crazy, right? But Lincoln Kennedy said this. He goes, he's got to be the starting quarterback, the franchise quarterback, the leader in the clubhouse. And right now he's not. He's literally lost them games yesterday. And Myers said on a Locked On Raider Squad show, right? He says, there's no other way to put it. We could blame the offensive line for everything that they did last week. Well, let's keep it a buck. He cost them this game yesterday. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Lincoln Kennedy added to Myers' comments, right? He said that the league now has a blueprint to defending the Raiders with Smith at quarterback. We see a blueprint, and now defenses are going to play the Raiders probably the rest of the year, Kennedy said, right? They're going to load up the box, and they're going to play Tampa too, and they're going to dare you to throw them long. Because that's what they did. They put 8 men in the box, and you're going to run 12 personnel, and we're going to put 8 men in the box, and we're going to isolate. We're going to show you a one-high safety look, Kennedy added. Now, look, I think there's 2 things that need to happen here. I think that the Raiders really need to try, because when you got a loaded box, it's hard to run, but they have to commit to the run, right? Right? Then there's also the other caveat that the Raiders are actually going to have to get that underneath game going. They need to get route runners. This is when situations like having a Hunter Renfrow is very vital. Like now, Jacoby Myers is a very good underneath route runner, but you need to attack the middle of that field when they get in that Tampa too, right? So it's like, for me, Jack Besh, a healthy Brock Bowers becomes exponentially more important. Exponentially. And it's time for Chip Kelly. And this is the man who needs to come to the front of the congregation. Chip Kelly needs to kind of start switching up because it's almost like he's tipping pitches, right? It's almost like he's tipping pitches. Be honest with you, man. I mean, the one good thing that I'm seeing, right, is that Pete is starting to gain trust for some people that most of Raider Nation feel and know and understand that should be playing, right? Seems like he's starting to gain trust for Jackson Powers Johnson, right? He said he'll start again this week, which I don't even know why that's even a question at this point, right? Eric Stokes, they say he's fine. He's going to take it week to week, right? So with that, right, we got to go into this Raiders injury report, right? We got to go into the Raiders injury report. Michael Mayer might play. He might play. I don't necessarily know if he will play, right? He is questionable at this moment, right? The Colts have a multitude of injuries as well, man. They really do, man. The Colts have a multitude of injuries, man. You know, Alec Pierce has out with a concussion. Matt Calvez is out. Kenny Moore is out with a hamstring. Linebacker and star Zaire Franklin was out for practice on Wednesday, October the 1st. We don't know if Zaire Franklin's going to play. And the Raiders are just watching the progress of Eric Stokes and Michael Mayer. We really don't know if these guys are going to play. We all know that Kolton Miller is going to be out. And, you know, we got to see. You know, Tyler Goodson, Xavier Howard was out personal reason. He will be playing, right? But Matt Calvez was a limited participant. And Alec Pierce was a full participant in practice, but he does have a concussion. He's in protocol. Alec Pierce is most likely going to play. He killed us a couple of years ago. So we got to see. I'm having a hard time believing these receivers that came from high caliber schools don't have route trees. The common denominator is play calling and Geno's inconsistency. See, I don't think that, you know, Dante Thornton doesn't have a route tree. I think what the problem with Dante Thornton is, and what the problem with rookie receivers is understanding how to get that release off the line of scrimmage to develop their style. Like Devontae Adams went over this last year, man. There's a science into playing wide receiver in this league. I think it's the release. I think once Dante Thornton figures that out and figures out how to use his body when you know he's in a contested catch situation, I think that's what's going to help him take off within his career. But that comes with reps, that comes with tutelage, and that comes with having guys in the organization that can show him that. See, the problem with a guy like Dante Thornton, bro, it's hard to, you know, teach him how to embrace those tools when you have guys that don't have those kind of tools. They don't know what that feels like, right? I wonder if Tim Brown could work with him, because Tim Brown wasn't the biggest guy in the world, but Tim Brown was a physical receiver. But definitely, man, definitely. LV Maximus, I think Geno needs his confidence back. LV, I don't think that Geno is lacking in confidence, bro. I think that Geno is probably a little too confident in his abilities sometimes. I don't think he's lacking in confidence, bro. Shock Bowers in the place, man. My dog. Any word on Brock and when they expect him to remove that knee brace? No. They haven't said, you know, I think in the next coming weeks, he'll be close to 100%, but I think it's going to be on for the foreseeable future, man. I do. Geno only looks at one receiver. He can't read the field. Listen, Rudy, I'm not going to say the guy can't read the field, bro. I just don't think he's done a terrific job of it this year. You know, he normally does, right? If Geno couldn't read the field, he'd be a guy who wouldn't throw for as many touchdowns as he has and started in this league. Geno can read the field. I just think that Geno has kind of gotten like locked in on a few guys. You know, especially Trey Tucker, man. He loves that guy. Loves him, right? And he's been forcing the ball at him, and he's been forcing the ball at Dante Thornton. He's been forcing the ball at Jacoby Myers. You know? But yeah, no, listen, I would love to see, you know, Geno really kind of get it together, man. But most of what I see, my guy Buck Nasty in the place, man. Salute, my man. Appreciate you. Yo, F the socks. The F up out of here, you clam chowder eating bums. LV, watching him live Sunday, felt like he was unsure of his chances. Nah, you know what, LV? You're right. I know in that game, when you have a game that's that bad, yeah, of course you're going to lose your little. But I think Geno Smith is a supremely confident guy, man. I think once he goes out there, because you know what? Because of the it seems like he don't even have a conscience. Maybe just go out there and let that thing rip. Can best take reps away from Thornton the next quarter season. Look, I'm gonna be real with you. I hope so. I hope so. I think Jack Best will help this team going forward a little bit more than what we're getting out of Dante Thornton. I mean, Dante Thornton is supposed to be that deep threat, but it's looking like Trey Tucker is that. It's looking that way to me, right? And when you start talking about Dante Thornton, his usage has kind of like, it's kind of raised an eye, right? His usage is kind of raised. I am really, really surprised with how much they've used him, bro. How much they've used him. Now, look, there are some things that are going on right now. You know, the Raiders have brought in the Raiders have brought in some help, right? And I like when I look at the Raiders and I look at what they're trying to do, I get it. I understand, right? You got to go out there. You have to bring in guys that you feel comfortable with. You got to bring in certain guys that you know, right? And with the Stone Forsythe situation, the Raiders are actually, bringing up 4 tight ends, right? Because, Mike's on the roster, right? And then you got Brock Bowers. But the thing is this, man. When I look at the Raiders, right, I'm looking at a team that really needs to go out there and try to get some more offensive linemen. Man. Now we got a couple of guys, that are on the practice squad, and I kind of wonder why the Raiders have not brought in or brought up some more of these guys, man. You know what I mean? Now the Raiders has signed Carter Runyon to replace, Kolton Miller, right? They've signed him to the active roster. Then they placed, they placed Leroy Watson on the practice squad. Now it's funny, man, because when I saw his name, Leroy Watson, the 5th or the 4th, what I think is the 4th or the 5th, I forgot to read my Roman numerals. It's crazy to me, bro. When I see his name, I say, give it up for Leroy Watson. I wonder, like there was no other option out there. Like, I'm just a little confused. I just would think that they would try to bring in someone else, man. Man, that boy good. That boy can sing. Yeah, Leroy Watson, Randy Watson's brother. Section chocolate. The play design to me is collegiate level. The field is small and the receivers can get to the level of separation Chip is used to with holes in that line. You don't have time to make a big play. And listen, bro, I'm 100% behind you. I think that, Chip Kelly is one of the people that a lot of people are not speaking about. I think Chip Kelly and Tom McMahon definitely need to step it up a little bit, man. I'm telling you right now, man. They said sounds like an A. Chappelle would use for it on stage, Joe. I know Leroy Watson. It's like Leonard Washington, right? He said, listen, let me tell you something. Leroy Watson don't get butt naked for nobody. You want this role, now come take it. Mr. Civil, why are we always dumpster diving looking for Kmart blue light specials? Look, man, I'm not going to necessarily say that, bro. It's just that, either which way, right? There's not a whole lot of options out there. Jedrick Willis, like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a whole lot of, it's not a lot of quality guys that are in free agency for the offensive line, man. Both things I remember. He said, he said, you wrong, that's why we can't have nothing. You mother wasn't shit. Oh man, Buck Nasty. He know what the deal is. He know what the deal is, yo. He know what the deal is. The dice, the CeeLo Championship of the world. Oh my God, man. Yo, it's just crazy, bro. Look, bro, I'm hoping that Stone Forsythe can play a little bit, bro. Because look, man, look, bro. Look, if Leroy Watson come in and save everything, bro, what you ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing. I'm getting a Leroy Watson jersey, bro. I'm getting me a Leroy Watson jersey, A-Sibbity Sap. Damn, the 1980s called and want their department store back. The F are you talking? What was going on? He said, pause. I remember that. What you talking about, bro? Yeah, we are going to need some safety help. And I think that, you know, we were talking about Riq Woolen possibly being a move the Raiders might make. I can see the Raiders now with some of the injuries in the secondary possibly going out there and getting Riq Woolen based off of how much it's going to cost to bring him in, right? It seems like a move that the Raiders could make and possibly should, right? But Charles Grant, Stone Forsythe, all of the holes in this roster, right? Whatever it may be. And I kind of got off on a tangent, right? Whatever it may be, the Raiders definitely need to focus on the younger guys, right? Because that's what this season is really about. Because we can't say that we're still just building. Like next year, for me, the Raiders better be competing. This year too. What's Hug D's talking about, man? Hold on, man. What is going on here? Hug D's, what's going on, man? Chappelle about to make Raider jokes? Pause. What is going on? Damn, the 1980s call and want their department store back? What you talking about? You talking about my background or something like that? I don't get it. I don't get it. What the F is going on here, Hug D's? Yo, with a name like that, he better not get stoned before the game, or should he? Maybe, hey, bro, maybe he play better if he gets stoned before the game. I don't know. You look, man, it's funny, bro, because some people, man, they go off, bro. It's like they become like a idiot savant when they smoke. Maybe Stone Forsythe need to get stoned before the game. Yo, I don't know. Look, you know, I don't even drink, so that's not my bag. But you know, we said that pull up. It's not a pull up, bro. It's an Adidas track jacket. Look, bro, let me tell you something, bro. I think that might be you trying to get at me for my track jacket. Let me tell you something, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. I am a very, very, very fresh individual, bro. So a dude like Hug D's or any of y'all can't say nothing to me about how I get down and how I dress, man. The swagger a little different over here on the East Coast, bro. It's a little different over here, bro. Like, come on, y'all. Like, let's not do that, bro. Let's not do that. Y'all don't want to see me stun on you, bro. Just don't do it to yourself, bro. Don't do it to yourself. You know what I'm saying, bro? Don't do it to yourself, yo. I'm in my lane. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about my shit, bro. Yeah, man. I mean, he don't understand that though. You know, Adidas, the New York State Yankees captain, Hug don't understand. He don't understand, bro. He don't understand, bro. He said, "Wash that hat, man. Get the F up out of here, LV. Get the F up out of here. My shit is always fresh. It's the lighting, bro. It look a little dusty." He said, "I got a Snickers smudge on the bill." What, right there? A sticker smudge? Get the F up out of here, man. Stop, man. Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. Stop it. Listen, this is what I'm going to do, yo. I'm going to stick my foot up Hug D's ass and show his inside some style. Y'all got to cut this out, bro. Y'all got to stop. Y'all, listen, y'all know who the freshest is on the market. Y'all know what it is. Stop playing with me. See, now y'all going to make me stun on you now. This is what's going to happen now. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be gold chains and diamond bracelets. And I am going to be so, y'all got to stop playing with me, bro. I don't play when it comes to clothes, bro. Y'all got to stop it. Y'all got to chill, yo. Man. Hey, listen, man. I beg to differ, yo. Nobody got more swag than wasted talent, bro. Stop it. But nah. Look, man, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, yo. Oh, how can I let some listen, bro? Wasted don't let no lames get him flustered. What the F is wrong with you, Huggies? I thought you knew me. Wasn't talking about your gear, you sensitive son of a. I was talking about the Kmart blue light comment. F up out of me. You shut the F up, Huggies. I just want to make fun of you, cookie face bastard. Hey, yo, I don't wear no, look, we don't wear no Dickies over here, bro. Chucks, we won't do that over here, bro. That's that West Coast shit, bro. Y'all got to chill, though. But nah, look, let's get back to it. We're going to get out of here, yo. You know, hug D's, man. Get your chill. Get up out of here, yo. Shout out to my guy, Hug, man. Oh, Solomon Mitchell. No, he said, where's the guy style 100%? Yeah, come on, bro. You know what it is, man. Yo, my baseball season ain't over either, Joe C, you bum. And LV Maximus, listen, yo, next time I'm out in Vegas, I'm gonna help you get a makeover too, bro. I gotta get your swagger up, old man. Yeah, man. But yo, look. Hey, wait, can you get a menoforder.com sweatshirt? Yeah, you could definitely get a nice sweatshirt too. I gotta start rocking my Men of Order stuff, yo. You know, listen, matter of fact, yo, I need y'all to go on over to menoforder.com. Go on over there, go get you some of them supplements. Go get you some of that Apex. I'm gonna be showing you guys some of my progress. Hey, LV says, he goes, I'm a sexy bitch. Listen, man, you can always improve, brother. You can always improve. But nah, yo, look, man. Look, we did the injury report. We talked about the game. We're going to talk more about the Colts, like probably tomorrow. Wanted to kind of talk about the Kolton Miller thing, Stone Forsythe. It's not a whole lot going on. We've been at this for like an hour. You know what I'm saying? I think it's about time to pull the train into the train station, bro. And also, salute to the New York Yankees. Hopefully the Yankees can pull it out. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully we can get a rematch with the Dodgers because, listen, man, I cannot stand. I never used to like dislike the Dodgers, and I'm gonna be real with you. You know, I'm gonna tell you why I didn't dislike the Dodgers. Most of my family are Dodgers fans, and I'm gonna tell you why. Like the older people in my family, because the Dodgers they had that was like the team that if you're older, like my grandfather and them, because my grandfather and them, they remember when Jackie Robinson and them. Everybody, if you were black, you was a Dodger fan back in the day. Because they had all of them, the black players and things like that, right? So a lot of older black folks love the Dodgers. Love the Dodgers, right? And that's really part and parcel why a lot of people became Met fans when the Dodgers went to LA, because they got that National League stuff. For me, I'm a Yankee fan. And I was a Yankee fan in the 80s where we were bad. Like when we had Jesse Barfield and Danny Tartable in the 90s, and because I loved Don Mattingly and I loved Willie Randolph. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm a Yankee fan. It just so happens when I got older, the Yankees got good and we start winning again, right? I want to see the Yankees get away. And I know this is baseball, but I'm gonna talk my shit real quick. I need to see them get away from too much of the sabermetric baseball geek stuff, because it has really sunk this organization. I'm getting sick of that shit. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of Aaron Boone, and I'm actually sick of Brian Cashman too. If the Yankees don't get to the World Series and win it, I want to get them the F up out of here. I'm sick of that shit. Sick of it. Donnie Baseball. It's right. Damn right. Said Geno Smith has a better chance of not turning the football over to the Yankees winning tonight. Get the F up out of here. Thank you. Man, I want a Dodgers versus Yankee rematch too. Yo, you bastards with the Yankee hate are about to go to the gulags. Damn right. Yeah, yo, the bull, Danny Tartable, baby. Yo, yeah, that's right. When Costanza worked for the Yankees. Oh man, F the Red Sox. Can't stand them. Hey, listen, guys. I'm actually gonna go watch the game. You guys have a terrific night. I don't know how good this live was. I don't know, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Right, we're gonna be back at y'all. We're gonna do the game preview. And we might have a guest this week. But guys, love every single one of y'all. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Red Nation Unlimited. I'm your man, Wasted Talent. I'm out. And what I need y'all to do is too, yo, we're gonna start putting up a lot of pre-recorded shorts and stuff. Going over there and support those. It really helps the algorithm, y'all. Y'all have a great and powerful night, man. And Hug D's, my brother. Hug D's. What I will say to you is this.
Man, you a bitch.
Yes. Yes, Hug D's. Get the F up out of here, man. Y'all have a good night, man. Peace. I got this stuff.